The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Right now, we say hello to John Tumino. How are you, John?
Hey, gentlemen. How are you?
Good, good. Executive Director at In My Father's Kitchen, and doing a whole lot of good for a lot of people who need the good in their lives. Thanksgiving over, was that a challenge for you? Is Thanksgiving a really challenging time, especially for our friends on the streets?
Yeah, I think the fact that they feel like there's no connection, so they're just by themselves on that day, or they're within their little community. So we make it an intentional thing to make the meals that feel like Thanksgiving for them, and we'll give them Thanksgiving. We go out before, so we weren't out on Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
There are locations for folks to go to on that day, so we bring out the things like the week prior.
Yeah.
So we start ramping up before the event, and then that's what happened.
So so people that are struggling with addictions and mental health issues, and I know that's the audience that you really are ministering to, do they feel a sense of loss from the holidays, or is it just another day to try to stay alive and to get by?
It's both. So it's like you forget that it's Thanksgiving until the cars are driving around and it's festive, the mall's busy.
Right.
So there's moments where they realize, oh, it's the holiday, right? Then that's when they get bummed down. But that triggers you to go medicate yourself so that you don't feel that emotional feeling. So it's a dichotomy that happens. They're aware of it, but then they kind of are oblivious to it at times too.
Have you ever seen maybe the opposite thing happen, where somebody reconnects with family because of the holiday?
Yeah, so in the past, there's been multiple times. Well, here's the challenge, like two things. Both encounters where individuals were to be reunited with family, those individuals ended up no-showing. Because they felt so, and asked after the fact, like, why didn't you come? We were there to pick you up, to bring you to your families. And they were just overrun with guilt and shame. They're still actively using. They didn't want to appear to the family function high. Yeah. So they bail out. And again, this is my group on the streets that I'm working with. Not everyone that's homeless in the shelters are experiencing that.
Same thing, yeah.
But this group that I'm dealing with, it's the mental health and the addiction drives them to not even connect with their families.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard somebody say a long time ago, how do you know an addict is telling the truth, or how do you know they're lying? Well, their lips are moving because that has how they've managed to get by or not get by.
Yeah, to survive.
So to survive, they haven't told the truth. So you're going back into a family, and there's got to be some barriers and walls and pain already pre-existing there. It's got to be really hard. And that's a great question, Tom.
I think there's some family members who want them there, but then there's others that have been burned or have, had bad experiences. So there's an animosity with the person that's there too. And I would say also, that's a true statement what you said about how do you know when they're lying. But except when you build this rapport with them, like with us, they're straight shooters. With us, they're not there's no more lying. They already know that we're there regardless. But when with your family or friends, you're going to make up stories to make yourself look better, and knowing that, you're struggling still in the dark.
And we're dealing with colder weather right now. So what happens in the cold weather with our friends on the street? Yeah,
so right now we've been gearing up and ramping up, and that's why I'm glad you guys have me on, because we haven't had real snowfall yet, but it's getting there. Like we have not too far from this location a woman with her boyfriend and 3 dogs living in a tent. I have other people in an abandoned building. So we're ramping up with warm winter gear, like hats, gloves, scarves, boots, hand warmers, things that they need to survive, blankets, sleeping bags. I won't give them a tent, but I'll give them the things to keep themselves warm. But that's what we're doing. So if anyone's listening, they want to donate, we'll take even gently used stuff that could be dropped off at our facility.
So how would someone give to that?
Yeah, so either you could, if you can't make it to our facility, to drop off the things that you might have that you're not using.
Is there a time I know that. So when would they do that? If
Fridays at between the hours of 12 and 2. at 501 Holly Ave in Syracuse. That's our storefront. It's opened up for drop-ins like that. If you can't make it and you'd like to make a monetary donation, you can go to our website and click on the donate tab and make a monetary donation. We'll gladly take that off your hands as well to help us do the things that we'll buy them. You know what I mean? But if you have stuff that are used and you're not, like boots that you aren't using and they're in good shape, I'm your guy. I'll take them.
And even with this cold weather, it doesn't drive some of them to maybe wake up and say, hey, this is not the life for me.
Yes, it does. So like winter is our ally. That's a great question, Tom. So right now, the numbers in the summertime always go up. We had a caseload of active members of 90. Already we're starting to see lower numbers on the streets because some people have now bought into, I'm going to the rescue mission, I'm going to Catholic Charities Men's Shelter, I'm going to the Women's Shelter. So they do buy into that, or they're going to the warming center, which is at Columbus Circle. There's no beds there, but it's a place to get out of the cold from 4 in the evening till 7 in the morning. So they're accessing that. So the numbers inside the shelter start to go up.
Right.
Street numbers start to go down, but we have that hardcore remnant that will keep staying outside and we keep visiting them.
So tell us some good news.
Great news is that there's been a lot of movement in housing. Just in the month of October alone, we've helped over 9 people get connected into housing.
So these are people that were living on the streets.
Yep.
That are now not living on the streets.
Correct.
And your connection to Andrew Lunetta, who we had on earlier today with a tiny home for good, how does that work with you? And
he's really so he doesn't work off of this list that we use to get people connected to providers, but there's another way of getting some of our friends to him, and we have 2 of the folks that we've worked with in the past are in some of his tiny homes.
Beautiful.
2 guys doing really well.
Good.
But in regards to like in November alone now that we've gotten 6 people in November, 9 in October, and we've gotten 10 matches this week going into December. So there's a movement happening in housing.
And how successful are they when they get there? Because these aren't people that were just buying a home and putting down a deposit on a mortgage. These are people with real challenges.
Another great question. So you're good, Steve. So the thing is staying successfully housed. So we are committed to staying with you for 6 months once you get into housing, even though you have a new case management team on your side. We are there to make sure that you feel comfortable, that you're doing all the things needed to stay in there so you don't recidivize back out to the streets. So there's a lot of wraparound services that have to come in to play to keep someone successfully housed.
Okay. And then what?
So then it's like dealing with, once they're indoors, the goal would be, well, do you want to start working on your mental health? Do you want to start working on your substance abuse? Do you want to be reconnected with family? Like, what are your goals? Like, there's all the providers set up, like, give us 3 goals that we could work with while you're indoors. Sometimes it's getting your identification. So this is an opportunity now when you're in home base, you could start to work on these other things. But if you don't deal with your substance abuse or you don't deal with your mental health, it's just a revolving door.
So real quick, you pull up on the street, someone's holding a cardboard sign and wave at you. What should you do?
You wave. You be gracious to someone, you say hello, or just give your wave back. And just acknowledge that they're standing there. They're not invisible. And if you feel so inclined to do something, get a Ziploc gallon-sized bag with some things in it, and you can hand it out the window.
So anything, not money, but stuff.
Yeah. Bottled water, wet wipes, hand warmers, something, a candy's a big deal, a pair of socks, real easy things that you could have in your car at all times.
Yeah, gotcha. And the candy will last in the car in the winter. It won't get turned to mush.
No,
so right. John Tumino, InMyFathersKitchen.org, great organization serving our community and saving lives. Thanks for being here, John.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I'm looking forward to Christmas.
Amen.